This is not a very Christmas-like story or something. Dalene Bowden is a food service worker at Irving Middle School in Idaho, known colloquially as Lewis, a lunch lady. She was placed on leave after she gave a free hot lunch to a 12-year-old girl who said she was hungry and didn't have any money. Bowden has now received a registered letter from the Pocatello Chubbuck School District informing her that she has been fired after her leave. The brief one-page letter was signed by the Human Resources Director, Susan Pettit. It says, listen, she essentially stole from the school district. She gave away a lunch that was not paid for. Bowden said she offered to pay for the $1.70 lunch that she gave away, but the supervisor rejected the offer and terminated her. The district school board member, Jacob Gertsch, declined to comment, and administrators could not be reached for comment. Bowden worked for District 25 for the past 3 years. She says she's never been written up. She's never been reprimanded for her job performance, but she did once receive a verbal warning for having given a student a free cookie. She plans to seek legal counsel about her firing that accuses her of theft. This is just incredible, Lewis. You know, they spoke to a spokeswoman for the school district who said, well, students are allowed to actually run an $11 credit. If the up to $11, we will grant them. But then after that, typically what we do is we say, no, we don't give them a lunch, but we'll give them like a peanut butter and jelly sandwich and a milk or something like that. And then the parents are notified that the lunch bill has reached the $11 cutoff and blah, 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 blah. The bottom line here is, if the expectation is at a certain point you turn down the kids for lunch, Ms. Bowden was probably not cut out for this job, right? If part of the job is telling hungry kids you can't give them lunch because of something that their parents have or have not done with regard to an $11 credit and a balance and the entire thing, this just seems very, very cruel. And we're talking about a $1.70 lunch here.
And it seems she offered to pay. That was after the fact. I don't know. You know, to call it thievery if she offered to pay is a bit strange. And I'm thinking if they had a system in place where she could have just given this girl a peanut butter and jelly sandwich instead of a hot lunch, then perhaps she just should have done that, knowing that there could be repercussions. The kid still would have had something to eat.
Yeah.
But I think that in this case, I think a reprimand and a warning, like if you do this again, there will be severe consequences, might have sufficed.
Like, hey, listen, we understand that you just couldn't tell this hungry 12-year-old, 11-year-old, I'm not giving you any food. We get that. We sympathize with that. But don't do it again, because next time you'll be fired. That would have been better, I guess, than just firing her. And for people saying, hey, David, there's a policy. You get an $11 credit limit and then blah, 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 blah. Should children have to manage financial accounts in order to eat where they are forced to be all day? It just doesn't seem fair to me.
No, I feel bad for the kid. And without knowing much more about the situation, I'm going to say that it definitely could have been handled differently. What can you do, Dave? It's the season of giving,
That's exactly
or so I'm
my
told.
thought. That's what I'm told by some Christians, that it is the season of giving.